Foreign Legion by William Russell Bennett. I'm one of the French Foreign Legion. It's hell, the life couldn't be harder. War to the knife, and you run for your life on the plains of Cascara Sagrada. Mixed with the sewer rats of Europe, hobos and tramps of all kind, several outcasts trying to wipe out their past, and some bums with no future behind. Scum of the earth, they all called us. That made my blood boil in a trice. I said there's no doubt that we're all down and out, but scum, scum, that's not nice. But at best we were just human wreckage, cast up on the shores like a toy. Ships of misfortune, just flotsam and jetsam, and Flanagan and Allen, oi, oi. Persians and Medes, parsnips and Swedes, but I'm British, I'm not like the rest. My birthplace is Bow, I'm bow-legged also, and that's why they call me Beau Jest. Think of the life of the poor legionnaire, risking his life, limb and blood. There's the shot and the shells and the sand and the smells that remind you of Southend-on-Mud. I've had the rheumatics from basement to attics, and a sneeze and a wheeze and a whinny, neuritis, gastritis and Edison-litis, and a pain in the crease of me pinny. The pet of the ranks was Sergeant Bin Blanks, with nice teeth and hair curled so fancy. He said, "Qu'est-ce que vous dites?" I said, "Kiss you, not me. My name is Willie, not Nancy." Out there on the sands of Morocco, one day with a foreign field marshal, an entrenchment I'd made with a bucket and spade when two riffs came and kicked down the castle. So I went for those riffs in the little short shifts. I gave them 2 biffs with me boot. If you biff a riff, he'll run back to his whiff in a jiff with a rift in his loot. I speak fluid French when I've had a few drinks. You can ask the French girls if you doubt it. I say hors de combat and pâté de foie gras. That's French, for now then, what about it? Oh, it's not very grand when you sleep on the sand, with a bunch of stiffs lying together. As they grunt and they snore, on your back there's a corps of mosquitoes who sing stormy weather. They do horses and men up in bundles of 10, till you feel like a well-toasted muffin. One day the heat scorched all the shirt off me back, and I sat on the sands in me nuffin. As I sat there frizzling and frying and sizzling, an ice cream cart came my direction. So wallop a Caesar, I jumped in the freezer and sat there to cool my affection. Old Sergeant Stringer said, "Come on, lead swinger, get out of that, do as you're told." I shouted, "No fear, I'm not shifting from here till the sands of the desert grow cold." What made me go through that hell upon earth, risking my life o'er the sea? Why hand yourself such a lemon as that? The answer is, suck it and see. 'Twas a woman who drove me to did what I doed, an unfaithful wife you can guess. She mixed with the swanks, jumped out of the ranks, and now she's an officer's mess. And that's all there is of that. The Bookmaker's Daughter by William Russell Bennett, author and chemist. Nell was a bookmaker's daughter. On the day she was born there was trouble. In addition to Nell came a sister as well. Nell's mother had brought off a double. Nell was the eldest twin sister, but by only 2 minutes at most. The sister, they reckon, came in a good second, but Nellie was first past the post. Poor father went wild when he heard there were 2. He was sat in a pub drinking gin. He said, "I'll get tight, I shan't go home tonight, in case any more runners come in." Nellie's sister was not a long liver, though the girl was as strong as a haddock. But one day on the course she got kicked by a horse between the grandstand and the paddock. Nellie's grown up into manhood, though against men her father would warn her, for he knew if they placed one arm round her waist they'd be halfway round Tattenham Corner. One day father said, "I'm in trouble. I've 1,000 black pudding to win. Now I hear Jim Maloney is back in Polony. At all costs I must save my skin. If black pudding loses, I'm ruined." I thought that the horse was a good un, but his skin's got so polished and shiny that the jockey can't stick on his pudding. Nellie said, "Tell the jockey I'll ride him, and bring me his clothes all complete. That is, all except in the trousers. He's rubbed Ronnock all over the seat. And that's why he slips off black pudding. But, Daddy, I'll win you your quids. I'll stick on the mare, for I'll ride in a pair of mother's red flannel, non-skids." The day of the race, what excitement! They both started off like the wind. Polony was making the running, with black pudding just 2 links behind. Nelly looked a safe bet in a red flannelette, as over its neck she was bending. Every time the horse jumped in the air, Nelly bumped, and we saw her invisible mending. The pace was too hot for Polony. It began to curl up with the heat, and the gypsy so grimy was shouting out, "Blimey, he's trying to make both ends meet." We could all see Polony was beaten. His trainer was shouting out, "Cuss it." I'd forgotten to sew his tights up at one end, and the stuffings dropped out of his gusset. Nelly won and was led down the paddock with the band playing waltzes and marches. She liked music a lot, but it touched the sore spot, for they kept playing Under the Arches. Nelly's sweetheart said, "Get wed for a start, for this race in your cap is a feather." Then the horse shouted, "Cocky, I'll marry my jockey, and we'll get dressed at Burton's together." The bridegroom looked tricky, no shirt, just a dicky. The parson said to him, "Lord bless you, now you're married, that's that, just keep a straight bat, and let Mrs. Burton undress you." Sweet Nelly has now got a motto. It's this, and you never will match it. If you're running life's course, take a chance with your horse. It'll never get well if you scratch it. And that's all there is of that.